You want to keep the foldable like it is on the left, you can just fold it till you see the title, or if you do want to cut it after it's done or before, that's up to you. Okay, so this particular topic, you're going to be asked to find a slope and the y-intercept to write the equation of a line. And the equation of the line will be in what we call slope-intercept form. So those will be the two pieces of information you either have to get from a graph, or you will be getting from a point and the slope, or you're getting that from 2 points. So there are going to be 3 different situations that you're going to have to be able to arrive to get the equation in slope-intercept form. Okay, so you'll be given just different situations. All right, so here's the first one. Here's the first problem. It says, write an equation of a line with a slope of 5 and a y-intercept of -3. So when we're looking at slope-intercept form, it looks like this. Y equals mx plus b. So you want to write that down. So those are the 2 pieces of information you need to write an equation of a line. So now the y-intercept has a new name. It's called b. Okay, in slope-intercept form. M is still the slope, and now b is the y-intercept. So if they actually give you these 2 pieces of information, you have everything you need. You don't have to solve for anything. Okay, this right here, this x will be stationary. Okay, as long as you have these 2 numbers, you're not going to bother the x. Okay, that's going to be stationary. It's going to stay there. All right. So since I have the 2 pieces of information I need, I just drop them in their proper places. The 5 goes where the m is, and the -3 goes where the b is. We don't write plus the -3, we write -3. Okay, so if you're given that situation, that's an easy situation because you have everything you need already. Example 2, same problem. You have your slope is -2/3. Your y-intercept, which is called your b, is 4. So you have everything you need. You write your equation. You get y equals -2/3 x plus 4. So now this is something that you could actually put into your calculator, or something that you could actually graph if needed. Now, let's look at a graph. So we still have to find m and b. So here's a different situation. What if you're given a graph and you have to find m and b for the graph? So here's our graph. 2 things we have to know. One is the slope and one is the y-intercept. I can tell where it's crossing the y-intercept. Okay, it's crossing the y-intercept at what number? All right, so I'm just going to put b equals -2. So the only other number I need is m. Okay, that's the only other number I need because, again, we got to find m and b to get this full equation. So if we're looking at a graph, we can use rise over run to find the slope. So I'm going to count at the bottom for the run. 1, 2, 3, 4. The rise is -2. So -2 over 4 reduced to negative what? -1/2. All right. The rise number always goes at the top. It doesn't matter if you start counting here first or here, as long as you put the numbers in the proper places. Okay, so now we have m, we have b. Okay, and now we can write our equation. Say drop your m where m's supposed to go, drop the b where the b goes, and that's it. Okay, so that's your next situation. If you're given a graph, you should be able to pull the slope from the graph and pull the y-intercept. All right, so let's take a look at situation number 4. So same two pieces of information we need. We do need to know the y-intercept. Okay, so this y-intercept looks like it's what? 1. And then we need to do the slope. So I'm going to do rise over run. This is a positive slope. So my rise is 1, 2, 3. My run is 1. All right, so my equation is y equals 3x plus 1. Okay. As long as you have m and b, you can write an equation, even if you're given different information. Okay. All right, so here's a different situation. What if you're given a point and a slope? Okay, so you're not given a graph, you're given a point and a slope. So we still have to obviously somehow get m and somehow get b. Now we know m because they just said the slope is -4. Okay, so I'm going to put at the top m equals -4. So now we just need to determine b. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to label this x, and I'm going to label that point, that coordinate y. So now the information I have is x, y, and m. And look at this, x, y, and m. So now I can solve for b. Okay, because if you have 3 out of the 4 of these, you can always solve for the one that you're missing. So I'm going to replace y with 3. I'm going to replace m with -4. I'm going to replace x with -1. And now I can solve this equation for b. So I have solved b, and b equals to -1. So now I have my m, I have the b, so I'm ready to write the final answer. Y equals -4x minus 1. All right, so I'm going to stop, and I'm going to give you a chance to do number 6 on your own. I'll write down what the slope is, and I'll identify your x and your y. So now I want you to use that information to solve for b. Okay, so I'll give you a second. Go ahead and do that. All right, does anyone have the answer for B? Yes.
Y equals negative 3 for x.
Just B. I just need B.
2.
All right, so let's work it out, see if that's correct. So the answer he gave us was 2. So I'm going to replace y with -4. I'm going to replace m with 8. And I'm sorry, I'm going to replace m with -3/4. Okay, I'm going to replace x with 8 and then solve for b. So -3 times 8 is -24. -24 divided by 4 is what?
-6.
-6. Okay, so now I'm just going to add 6 to both sides. So b equals to 2. So once I have 2, then I'm ready to write my equation. Okay, so we should have y equals negative 3 to the fourth x plus 2. All right, so we have one more situation to cover. And these are all still arriving at the same answer. We're still arriving at, an equation in slope-intercept form. So the last situation is 2 points. So what if you have 2 points? How do you get M and how do you get B? All right, so here we go. Here are 2 points. The first thing we're going to do is use the slope formula. Okay, so that's the only thing you can do with 2 points at the beginning is use the slope formula. So here's the slope formula. y2 minus y1 is obviously m equals over x2 minus x of 1. Our slope comes out to be negative 3/2. So if you have an equation like this, or if you have a problem that is like this for homework, I do want to see, like I said, you don't have to write the slope formula. I do want to see m equals. I want to see the numbers you use and the reduced answer at the end. Okay, you will have a problem like this where you're given 2 points. So show me how you find the slope. So now, the only other thing we're missing besides m is what? B. What do we call B again? The y-intercept. Okay, because all of these you're finding m and b just given different situations. So now we have to find B. So how do you think we're going to find B? We're going to obviously use an x and a y, and we already have the slope. Now, it doesn't matter if I use negative 2 and 5 for my x and y, or 2 and negative 1. The answer is no. You get to choose which set of points you want to use. Okay, I'm just going to choose the first set. All right. So if I choose the first set, y is 5. The slope is negative 3/2. X is negative 2. Okay, we solve it for b. And b comes out to equal to positive 2. Okay. And again, you can choose 2, negative 1, and you're going to still get the same answer. So it doesn't matter. So now you have m, you have b, you put them together, and you have y equals negative 3/2 x plus 2.